Hello, 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 good people. Hello, good people. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's perspective for Wednesday, January 9th. Wednesday, January 9th. Good morning. Thank you for all who are joining me. Hello, Miss Maxine. And hey, Ty. Ty, I was thinking about you this morning. You're going to come up in this perspective. Watch this. Thank you for all who are joining me. Listen, um, I had this conversation yesterday and I thought it was intriguing. So, of course, I had to bring it to you this morning. I've entitled this one Learn to Fit. And what I'm talking about is say thank you for all who are joining me. Hello, Derek. Um, some of us are so specialized at what we do. We're so comfortable, like a snug little bug in a rug. Ooh, just yummy, yummy comfortable in our own little niche, in our own clique, in our own little bubble environment, that we are clueless and worthless outside of that environment. And what do I mean by that? Not worthless as a person, worthless as someone who is growing and learning and stretching and challenging themselves. My challenge to you this morning or this afternoon for my wonderful viewers over on the continent of Africa, I saw a couple of you. My challenge to you today is to begin to think about stretching and challenging yourselves to fit in an environment where you are very uncomfortable. It is about getting outside. See, I knew Isaac was out there. It's about getting outside of your comfort zone. It's about putting yourself deliberately and intentionally into an environment that makes you uncomfortable enough not to feel the discomfort and run, but rather uncomfortable enough to determine within yourself, oh no, sister, you will not be in this position again. You're going to find out what's going on. That kind of discomfort, not one that will make you, oh my goodness, I couldn't wait to get out of there. I could not wait to get out of there. Girl, I was so lost. That's one option. You can run out of the discomfort. You can run away from that area that makes you uncomfortable, or you can say, oh, oh no, I do not ever need to be in a position where I feel that uncomfortable and I'm okay with it. I'm going to go learn what's going on. And this is what I was talking about in particular. This is specific to give you a concrete idea. I'm a former drill instructor, Marine Corps drill instructor, and we have a very distinct way of thinking, and we have habits that either we already had as far as our natural personality, and they're amplified when we go on to the drill field, and they're just amplified. Well, we think a certain way. Marine Corps recruiters think a very different way. And they're both a beautiful thing. So we had this discussion. I was the drill instructor in the triad, and I had two recruiters. And the thing that came up, and this is where I'm talking about, and it applies to all. Well, I want to know drill instructor. I don't even know what a recruiter is. It doesn't matter. It applies. Okay, it layers over into all different aspects of our life. They think a certain way. And so the scenario came up that we try to match recruiters to the area that they're going. And one recruiter made mention that, yeah, I'm not going to take someone who grew up in the country and is a stone hardcore redneck and plant him in an urban environment, because that's not necessarily setting him up for success. The other recruiter, however, said, we don't want any excuses. We want you to be able to recruit. You have to be able to be comfortable enough that you can walk into any scenario and fit in. And that takes some getting used to. And so it made me wonder, it made me start thinking about, there have been some situations where I have been the only or one of, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. And I get back to how I started. You have a choice. Either we run and never return to that environment that made you uncomfortable, or you deliberately and intentionally make the decision to fit in, and make the decision, I will fit in anywhere I go. I might not, it's going to be some rumbling in there. But so my challenge to you today is to look around. Is your environment homogeneous ethnically? That means everyone around you looks just like you. You're in an all Black environment, an all white environment, all Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Native. Does everyone look like you? You need to probably pick yourself up and force yourself and go into a different ethnic environment. Does everyone in your circle make the same amount of money you do? So much so that I know someone who was deathly afraid of riding the city bus, had never even, didn't even knew nothing about them, but had a very distinct idea of the kinds of people that rode the city bus. Now she was, that's right, Ty. I was thinking about you because you in the hospitality environment, you deal with all different kinds of people. That's how you came to my mind this morning. Now, the person I'm talking about is good people. I mean, she's a good person, but she has never been forced to, or she has never put herself into an environment that would make her uncomfortable socioeconomically. And so she had a very distinct idea about the kinds of people who rode buses, city buses. Okay. We need to put ourselves in that situation. If you surround yourself with and have grown up around lower socioeconomic status, you need to dress up and put yourself in an environment of people who are wealthy. Find your way there. They think differently. They interact differently. Get into a position where you are uncomfortable. Does everybody around you have a high school diploma? Nothing more, nothing less. Does everyone around you have doctorate degrees, professional degrees? You're a lawyer, you're a judge, you're an accountant. You need to stretch yourself into an environment that makes you uncomfortable, not to the point of running and swearing that you will never return there again, but can you fit? Can you be plopped into the middle of any environment and get along? Some people, hey, Miss Deanna, some people can get along with anybody, with everybody. That's not, I would submit to you that it's not naturally only their personality. They have chosen to practice. They have determined to hone that skill so that they can fit in any situation. So my culturally, are you out of sync? Are you so uncomfortable because these people do everything different? Oh my goodness, why are they doing it like that? It's a mindset, and I'm challenged. Don't be afraid to step out and into a different environment. Thank you, Patricia. Not only don't be afraid to challenge yourself and deliberately and intentionally place yourself. I promise you, you will be a bigger and a better and a wider person. You will have different perspectives. You will begin to think differently. And that causes you to become a wider, better version of who you are. I promise you it will. So I just thought it was a fascinating conversation. I like to see how different people come to different conclusions. People don't do things that they know are crazy. Okay, other people on the outside looking in and saying, how in the world did she come up with that crazy idea? But to the person, it makes perfect sense. It was lining up and it was like on point. How did they come up with that? Place yourself in that mindset. Put yourself in a different environment. Stretch yourself and learn to fit in. Learn to fit in. I promise you, you'll be a better version of yourself. Okay, so remember, tomorrow is Thoughtful Thursday, and I cannot wait. It's my inaugural Thoughtful Thursday. We're going to be doing book discussions and what did you learn from this? And this is how this made me grow. And etc., etc. Also, lastly, remember that I am on a social media brownout and a TV blackout for the next 3 weeks. Okay, so I promise I'm not being rude when I'm not responding, uh, digitally to your any comments that you made, or oh, thanks for sharing. I typically do that. I'm off social media. I promise you. As soon as I hit the send button on this, I'm off social media for clarity. I need to cut out some of the noise so I can hear more distinctly. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking me up on the challenge, which I know you will. Thank you for sharing. And until next time, take real good care of yourself. Stretch yourself. Stretch yourself.